guys, welcome to Natural Beauty Summit's Detox Your Lifestyle and Reset for 2022. Today's segment is about makeup. Now, many of us use makeup. I clearly have some on today. And we're all exposed to it, not just the ingredients, but also a lot of the culture around makeup. So I'm really excited to be chatting with the co-founder of BASMA Beauty, which is a beautiful, inclusive line of makeup sticks in 40 different shades. And we're gonna be talking about not just ingredients and detoxing your makeup stuff, but we're gonna be talking about the culture around makeup and where we can find ourselves and or where we think we fit into the scope of things. So without further ado, stay tuned for my chat with Parisa Durrani, co-founder at BASMA Beauty. Welcome to Natural Beauty Summit's Detox Your Lifestyle and Reset for 2022. I am here today with Parisa Durrani, who's the president at BASMA Beauty. And I'm so excited to be talking about makeup with her. So welcome, Parisa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I know it's been a while since you and I have been on video. So it's kind of nice to see you and get to catch up on stuff.
Can't wait to do this in person, hopefully one day.
Right, one day, life many years from now, after COVID, long after COVID. COVID is still here. All right, I want to start the conversation with talking about our insecurities because we can't really disarm them without acknowledging them first. And there probably isn't a single person in our audience watching this that wouldn't change like at least one thing about themselves. So like, I know for me, like people see me and they're like, oh my God, you have such great skin.
You're flawless.
You've got such great skin. And all I see is like the lines, the age spots. And like, so I think it's really easy to think everyone else is perfect, but like, except for you. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with having insecurities. I think we all have them. It's okay. No judgment. But like, this brings me to the power of makeup. What I want to know, and it's kind of a two-part question, is
this is a loaded question.
It's a lot of questions. What does makeup mean to you? And what does it mean to the brand, BASMA Beauty brand? Because you personally have a different experience and you've obviously brought that into the brand, and the brand has a different vision that might be bigger than your experience. So I really want to hear both perspectives.
So I think the best way to tell this story or answer it, I think would probably just to give some insight into the brand first, and then I can talk about my own experiences. So the brand was founded by, it's called BASMA Beauty. It was founded by Basma Hamid. And when she was 2 years old, she was involved in a kitchen accident and she burned half of her face with boiling oil. So for her growing up, makeup was a necessity for her, because if you can imagine growing up with like a big red scar, and this was after that, like hundreds of surgeries and laser treatments, the doctors could never get rid of that red color. So for Basma, like what started off almost as like a passion, as a necessity, because she wanted to conceal her scar, quickly grew into a passion. And she fell in love with makeup. She fell in love with everything about pigments and formulas, ingredients, the whole chemistry behind it. So the brand was really framed around Basma's story in the thinking that, makeup is so personal, just like how everyone's insecurities are so personal. So the power of makeup is truly what you make of it. And there's no right or wrong answer. I think right now we get so caught up in trends. Like use this product and get ready in 2 minutes. Use this product and get like the perfect glam look. And the reality is that there's not a one size fits all for everybody. And if anything, I feel like trends could be very detrimental to the mental health and confidence of everyone around us. So for instance, like not everyone will be able to get ready in 5 minutes. There are some people who genuinely feel their best when they have a full face on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the more rhetoric we see about people saying, no, get ready in 5 minutes and don't wear foundation, just wear mascara. I feel like that's coming from a place of privilege, if I can say. It's coming from a place where some people don't have to deal with problematic skin. And so they can't really understand the flip side of someone wanting to wear a lot of makeup. So I think the long story short is, for our brand, it's very much like whether you take 2 minutes to get ready, whether you take 2 hours, whether you like a little, whether you like a lot, it's totally up to you, and you need to do what makes you happy. So for someone like me, for instance, I don't really have problematic skin. Like it's kind of like uneven. But for me, like I like to get ready fast. I like to, I don't like applying a lot of product, but then there are certain days where I like to like full glam it up. Like it's totally subjective. And so I think for us, it's very much like, hey, like beauty on your terms. It's whatever you want to do.
I love that. And by the way, guys, I am wearing BASMA Beauty. I'm shade 29, right?
Yeah.
I'm 29, but I'm also trying contouring with a stick today. I don't know if I've done a great
I can
job.
see some definition.
You can see it, right? I put it
Yeah.
right there. I put a little bit up here, get the Kourtney Kardashian look.
You look
Far
good.
from Kourtney Kardashian right now, but it's baby steps. And I love that the brand is so empowering. And the way I've kind of started to think about it when I hear your story, and you could do it this way, you can do it that way. And I think about my experience, as a mom, as a person running a business, there's a lot going on. And I kind of look at makeup as like, it's like your wardrobe, right? You'll put on different layers depending on the weather, your mood, the occasion, all of that. And I really like that, with your foundation stick, I can just like use it as a concealer, but I can also like try to do what I've tried to do here with like contouring. Work in progress.
That was our goal. Like from the beginning, we wanted the product to be buildable. Buildable because not everyone likes things to be super heavy, but some people really want it. So like we didn't want to alienate anybody. We didn't want to tell anyone how they should wear makeup, how much you should wear. That's why in all of our Instagram, we'll say like, wear makeup, don't wear makeup. Like, do you like,
I'm going to pause you right there.
Yeah.
Because that is such an important point to underscore, especially in days of Instagram and TikTok and I got to do this and I got to do that. And even there are days where I'm like, flipping through TikTok and I see these girls like so done up and I'm like, I want to be you, but I wouldn't even know how.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like this, it almost goes kind of back to the concept of like filters. Like the problem is it's all so subjective. Like I think about like if I had a daughter, you have a daughter. I think about like, what would I want her to learn or to take away? And obviously, I think this whole minimalist beauty and, love yourself and be confident in your own skin is the right message. But I think there's also there's almost a little bit of danger because not everyone is at that point. Like for some people, it's a process before they can truly love themselves. So like on top of having insecurities, like someone could feel like garbage if they're wearing a lot of makeup and their friend isn't. They could almost feel less pretty because they feel like they need makeup. So it's just, like that's why like, Basma and I, we always just say like, do what you need to do to make yourself happy. And the end goal is that like you are confident in your own skin, and makeup is like this disposable tool where you wear it, you don't wear it. At the end of the day, you have to wash off your makeup and you have to be happy with yourself. Like that's the end of it all. But I mean, it's just such a slippery slope when people are like, take away filters. And some people are like, hey, like I feel good when I have filters on. But then on the flip side, people go to plastic surgeons saying, I want to look like a filter. So, I mean, it's all just a slippery slope. So it's a very interesting, time.
And I think this is one of the reasons why I thought talking about makeup in the summit was so important, because the thing that is more toxic than some of the ingredients, which we will talk about, is the mindset and the culture around makeup. I mean, we've kind of adapted to fashion, right? Like fashion or what we wear doesn't define us, but maybe it defines us in that moment when we want to be, professional, or we want to be glamorous, or we want to be sexy, or whatever the adjective might be. It's a tool. It's an empowering tool for us to be able to be the thing that we want to be in that moment. And that's very empowering. And I think it's just really important to just kind of take stock of the messages we're constantly being bombarded with about what is enough makeup, what is too much makeup. You set those terms. And I think what's really beautiful about the brand, your brand, is, aside from the products, is the culture behind makeup that it's presenting. And it's so needed right now. So makeup is obviously a great tool. And I kind of want to move on from this. We should talk about ingredients because like from formaldehyde to metals and mercury, all kinds of shady stuff has been found in makeups, like in your eyeshadow, in your bronzer. And from your perspective, if someone is kind of coming into this and they're like, how toxic is makeup? Like, how would you rate that level of toxicity in conventional, everyday? And I want to say we should define this in fairness, because, there are makeup brands that have not changed their formulations for the last 50 years. Mm-hmm. And then there's obviously like indie beauty brands like BASMA Beauty and so many others that are coming in with a totally different approach. But I just want to kind of get a feeling for like, what is your perspective on toxicity in color cosmetics?
So for sure, I think in the last 5 years, we've seen a significant shift in and the rise in clean beauty. I mean, if you just look at the sheer numbers, I think the FDA, there's like 11 or 15 ingredients that are like are banned. And in the EU, there's like 1,300. Yeah. So right off the bat, it just tells you that it's not a very regulated industry. I know for us to start selling, we just need to like submit ingredients. We don't have to get approval. So I think it kind of starts from there, because the barrier to entry is so low. I feel like a lot of brands have traditionally gotten away just using ingredients that have always been used. But I feel now that, there is a focus on like taking care of your skin and eating right and like being healthy and like looking at the ingredients you're eating and you're putting on your skin, you've seen that significant shift. So you're seeing a lot of brands that are like straight up clean, like, and even for like the general public, I feel like we're getting better at educating customers on what to look for. So things like, if your eyeshadow has a fragrance to it, chances are it's bad for you. Like eyeshadow should not smell. Like why would you need your eyeshadow to smell if it just like things like that are just like it's crazy that like we used to think that this was like a perk, like, oh, and it smells like like bubble gum or whatever. Fragrance.
We kind of grew up in this like culture of scent, I think.
Yes,
like
markers.
Bath is it Bath and Body Works? I haven't been there in so long, but it was like my favorite store to go into when I was a teen, because everything smelled so intensely and it's all artificial. Like there's no pines in there,
Yeah. I have to tell you, I had one of those plugins, with like the scent, like the liquid scent, and we put it on our table and I guess it started leaking, and my wooden table, like it basically burned a hole. Like that liquid burned like a hole in the wood. And so after that, my husband and I never bought it again, because we're like, how could something burn through wood, like liquid? Yeah. So again, like I think it's just about like do your research too. I mean, like look at the ingredients. Like there's a lot of websites now will show you, like they'll have all the ingredients listed. Do your research. But yeah, stay away from parabens, anything with fragrance. And just like a lot of times just use your common sense. I would just say.
When you and your team were formulating, you took a really different approach. And I know this because we were talking through it, and then there was testing, and then like so many like reiterations that you had to make in order to make your vision work. Can you talk about some of the ingredients that you chose and why?
Yeah. So from the beginning, so Basma was really very, like, she created this product, like because she had an experience growing up where she was playing with ingredients, like she would observe it, like formulas, how they were made. She knew from the very beginning what kind of ingredients she wanted. And she wanted something that felt like skincare. So she wanted ingredients that would be super hydrating, super, that would give you like that natural glow, nothing. And she didn't want things to feel artificial. So that's why like we were playing around with our like dream list was avocado butter. But that is too creamy. So it will make your makeup fall apart in the product. But she was from aloe vera, because we all know the benefits of aloe vera. Apricot butter to get the hydration, vitamin E. We played around with so many different types of ingredients, and it took almost 2 years just to get that formula right. And again, it's the balance between having these beautiful ingredients, but also having a formula that will help you achieve that buildability.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's playing that fine line of like, you want to achieve something on like the exterior, on the face, but you need to have the ingredients to almost back it up. So it was like a seesaw. It was like a juggling
act. It's a balancing act. Absolutely. Yeah.
Balancing act. That was the word. I was like seesaw.
Yeah. But and the results have been great. And you guys came into the market with 40 shades, which is insanely bold. I mean, I know founders who have been, sorry, I think we glitched there for a second, but I know founders who have been in makeup for years. And when I told them that you guys are coming out with 40 shades, they're like, what? That's insanity. I think the reason behind it is brilliant. And again, going back to, so necessary right now in makeup culture. But why did you not just start with 6 or 16 like everyone else? You guys came up with 40, like makeup stick in 40 shades.
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons. So one, I'm South Asian, Basma is Middle Eastern. Finding shades was always an issue.
Oh, girl.
It's tough. It is so tough. Like foundation is one of those things where if it's not perfect to your skin, you just can't use it. So there's no room for error. So for us, it was just like, we were seeing other brands come out with liquid foundations and stuff, and we were seeing the numbers increasing. And for us, it was almost like, just like how we approached developing the formula ingredients wise, we know no parabens. We didn't want any phthalates. We didn't want any fragrance. We want to be sulfate free. It's almost like clean beauty is a table stake, and so is being inclusive, having that inclusive range. So everyone can see themselves in the brand through our imagery, as well as in the shade range. So that was very important to us. Secondly, we're living in a time where like we have so many options when it comes to makeup. We're not restricted to like, in Canada, we only have like, before we didn't even have Sephora. We had like certain stores that would just carry like a smaller range. And now like there's so many different types of foundation formats. There's pressed powder, there's liquid, there's tinted moisturizers. There's like an infinite number of options, yet we've always felt like it was the liquid foundation that was almost taking the burden of the category to be inclusive. It's almost like, well, our stick can have like 20 shades because our foundation has 40. And so for us, like sticking true to like, do what makes you happy, like do what sits right for you. Like, we felt like it doesn't matter what format you use a foundation, you should always have your perfect match available for you. So that's why we were just like, hey, like if you wear stick foundation, like find one that suits you, like liquid foundation. So that was basically our line of thinking.
I remember when I was a teen and I was going and looking for like foundations. And now looking back, I'm like, why was I even looking for makeup? But it was just a thing to do, right? And CoverGirl, like all of these like classic brands would have like 6 shades, and all of them would have this pink undertone for white women. It's like,
Yeah, there
I'm
was
also
like no
midway
focus
through.
on olive and warm tones and all that like beautiful in between shades. Yeah, it was completely neglected.
Yeah, and even like more recently, like up until I tried your stick, it was I would have to get some things like more like the tinted moisturizers because they shade match better. And if they weren't perfect, it didn't matter because it was
Yes.
translucent.
Yes.
And that was why I chose the products that I did. And I love your shade finder because it was so helpful in sort of narrowing it down. And because you would think like, you need to try on makeup in the store to see like how it looks under the light. And we're exposed to different light all the time. But I thought your shade finder was amazing. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank
Um,
you. We honestly did it because it's almost like, have you ever tried buying an outfit online and sometimes you just see so many options and it's almost overwhelming. Like, am I like a medium? Am I a small? Am I an extra small? So we hear stories about people complaining like 40 shades. That's like too much. It's too difficult for me to find my shade. And so we wanted to create a tool that like educated customers about what shade they'd be, but it also like we wanted to take away like the intimidating factor of having so many shades. Like there might be 40 shades, but there's
oh my
really
gosh.
only going to be like
Yeah.
2 or 3 that are going to be for you. So like don't be scared, like don't
Yeah.
be intimidated by it.
And it was like 3 questions, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden the like 40 shades were like 6 and then 2 and then like, so it was really easy. And I think that that's how we're all like buying makeup now. I want to kind of touch on your expertise, touch on how, like, if someone in our audience is like, okay, great, thank you, you have empowered me, I'm going to do me in terms of my makeup choices and application, but I still want to know, like, are there certain products that I should be ditching? And are there, other products that I should be introducing? I think we often think of like cleaning up or detoxing, whether it's our makeup drawer or our skincare routine or our sleep routine, even. We always think about like things to take away. But I think that there's some opportunity to like introduce things that are better for you.
Mhm.
We kind of touched on this before, like color cosmetics haven't really been designed to be good for you until very, very recently.
Mhm.
So now that we're in the space, what are some things that our audience can be looking for?
So definitely, like I said, every website now they will list the ingredients right in front of you. They might hide it under like a what's
A
that word?
drop,
Yeah, a
a
drop
drop
down. They
menu
might
or
hide it
something.
there,
Yeah.
but it's there. Like every brand is very cognizant of the fact that like you need to present the ingredients so people know what they're buying. Whether they choose to look at it, it's up to them, but definitely look at the ingredients. And just like food, like the ingredients that are listed at the very beginning at the top are the ones that make up the majority of the product, and as you go down obviously they make up less. So do your research. So look at the ingredients, look for any type of stamps, like whether it's vegan, cruelty free, if it's been dermatologist tested. Sephora has clean, like the clean beauty stamp. um, Look for all of those cues of so I mean it just helps you not having to do the work yourself. Definitely look at all of that and look for any of the claims. So the tricky part about claims is that like a lot of times they can be they're just marketing claims. No one's sitting there saying, is this in fact true? But always take a look at it, because a lot of brands know they can't make up things completely.
Yeah.
So if they're saying things like paraben free, sulfate free, fragrance free, is it again for makeup, is it dermatologist tested and approved? There's a lot of cues, a lot of information that's readily available at our disposal. It's really just dependent on us to do the work to see which one would be good for your makeup.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point, because like a lot of retailers, Sephora, Target, Ulta, they've all kind of taken the guesswork out of, is this going to be clean, or is this going to be good for me? Because you can shop by, clean or green or whatever they call it. I think at Ulta it's conscious. Okay. And then in terms of if you're substituting, do you have any guidance on like how to substitute things that you're running out of? Because you might have an eyeshadow or a blush that, you're using right now and you don't want to throw it away. But when the time comes to replace it, any recommendations there?
To get like a new product?
Yeah.
I would honestly, so I've actually done this a couple of times. I've made the switch through the process of, watching BASMA develop the product and being part of it. I've actually done that. I now only buy from brands that are clean. So there's a sense of comfort and now again, like there's so many reviews, you have Instagram to actually see if it's pigmented, because I think a lot of people are skeptical about natural or clean beauty because they're going to say, well, the shelf life is going to be bad. And, the color's not going to be as bright as it would be if there were chemicals in it. And so, look, I just did research. I looked at brands that had the stamp on it, and I've made the switch. So a lot of my blush and bronzer and eyeshadows are all from specific brands that create only clean beauty.
Okay. Can you share what those are?
Kosas. I love Kosas.
Oh, okay.
Kosas is a fantastic, fantastic brand. I would
Awesome.
definitely advise looking into them.
And I remember when we were speaking last, you just kind of brushed over it right now, but like replacing, like maybe if, replacing some products with like maybe mineral-based products or
mineral-based, yeah.
But yeah, definitely makeup has come a long way. So there are really great like clean green options. And
everyone's making the switch. If you think of a brand as big as Kylie Cosmetics, like there is a lot of pressure. Like she was making she's a billionaire, and then out of nowhere they had to basically stop all production and reformulate all of her products to be vegan. Like it is a very expensive overhaul, but that's the testament to how important and critical and the growth of this clean beauty business is. That if Kylie Jenner needs to reformulate, then everyone should definitely jump on board.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to also how demanding consumers have become about give us good stuff. Like don't give us the crappy toxic chemical ingredients. So it's great to hear that voice is being heard. So it has been so much fun. Any last final words where people can find you or like learn more about clean makeup?
Definitely. If you want to check us out at basmabeauty.com, we have all of our ingredients listed, everything there. I would check out EWG for any additional information on ingredients. They have a lot of great articles, and then just do a lot of Googling. Look at what you currently have in your drawer. And if you can't pronounce it, which 9 times out of 10, you probably won't be able to in cosmetics, just look it up and see what you're actually putting on your face.
And I think EWG is a really great source because they have come up in, I think, every other interview that I've done, somehow it comes up. So that's a really, really reliable source. And actually, the founder of EWG helped kick off the summit. So we're definitely on board with their data. Thank you so much for joining us, Parisa. You guys too, stay tuned and keep detoxing.